One thing that we love to do is interact with you guys, and at the end of every month we do choose the comments and the reactions that we like the most, and we do a video responding to them. We love when you guys share your thoughts and your personal stories. That's what this show is all about. It's like the Truth and Dare show, except we don't have dare, we just kind of tell the truth about certain life experiences. Anyway, some of these comments this week, or this month I should say, were absolutely fascinating. And I want to start off with the story that we did about a couple that had sex in public. So a couple had filmed themselves having sex in public, and this happened in Russia, and authorities are trying to find who they are. And Razor Lust wrote the following to our question: would you rather have sex in public or on camera? Here's what Razor Lust had to say. To answer the question, done it and done it. More than just a few times. And we'll do them both again. I believe nudity and sexuality are normal and natural parts of life, and it's not a big deal. Just clean up after yourselves, people. I love how open you are, and I love that kind of mentality toward sex and sexuality. I think it's really important to not be ashamed, because life is short. You should enjoy these experiences. As long as you're not harming anyone else, and as long as it's consensual, go ahead, do it, and don't feel ashamed. Now, public sex gets a little tricky because there are laws against it, and I don't want people getting arrested. And quite honestly, if I had kids, I wouldn't want my kids seeing it. So of course, be really careful when it comes to that type of stuff. But again, Razor Lust, your enthusiasm and your passion is absolutely awesome. It makes me proud to know that we have fans like that. All right, so then we did a story on a racist Instagram post. A girl by the name of Maya, or a woman by the name of Maya Peterson, had posted a picture kind of making fun of white privilege. She's the first female president at a prestigious New England boarding school called Lawrenceville, and so she got a lot of criticism for that. And the question that we asked our panelists was, have you ever been mocked? And a few of you answered the question, one of which was the powerful panda. And here's the answer from this individual. I just don't see that picture as offensive. The words, though, I guess could be considered somewhat offensive on that Confederate part, but really it seems pretty light. Shit, who hasn't gotten mocked at some point? I happen to be mixed with 4 different ethnicities, so naturally when you don't fit into one solid group, you can run into issues, especially when you don't conform to some archetype. And that is a great point. When you're growing up, if you are not considered normal, you get mocked for it. But I find that when you get older and when you enter adulthood, being unique actually helps you stand out in good ways. So I have certain elements about me that are unique. I have an Armenian background. That was something that was mocked when I was growing up, and now I love that. I love that I can speak 2 different languages. I have certain physical characteristics that don't conform to societal expectations, and I flaunt it. I'm proud of it, and I think that everyone should be proud of their flaws. They should be proud of their unique abilities, and the powerful panda does make really, really great points about, you know, the fact that that picture wasn't really that offensive. I actually tend to agree with you on that. All right, moving on. We did a story about a woman who stole a vibrator. She took it out of a sex shop, put it in her baby's crib, and tried to leave. She got caught. And the question that we asked was, have you ever had anything stolen from you? And 2Stone00 said, my best friend stole my girlfriend when I was away for the summer. He knocked her up and married her. I owe that guy my life. Thanks, Dave. I cannot thank you enough for your sacrifice. Dude, I agree with you 100%. The first guy that I was ever in love with literally did the same thing. She wasn't my friend. I didn't know who she was, but he was cheating on me with her. He knocked her up, and that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I actually walked in on them having sex, and that was a traumatic situation at the time, but now I think about where I am in life and where he is in life, and believe me, I'm doing much better than he is. All right, and also, God, this is annoying, answered the question. You wouldn't guess it, but sex shops actually suffer quite a bit from theft. I've seen people trying to steal all sorts of stuff, from condoms to lingerie to lube to vibrators. A middle-aged lady actually tried to make off with a Hitachi wand, don't blame her, in her oversized purse. I can understand stealing food if you're starving or some shit, but unless you're missing all your fingers, you get no sympathy from me when stealing a dildo. I agree, you shouldn't steal, it's against the law, and don't hurt these businesses, although I'm sure sex shop businesses are doing pretty well. All right, witch hunts in India, that was a really, really difficult story to cover. It's one of the more serious topics we covered on The Point. It was regarding the number of women who get murdered in India, specifically in rural areas, from 2000 to 2012. Experts say as many as 2,500 women were murdered because they were accused of being witches, and they're tortured in the most hideous ways before they're murdered. The question that we asked for that story was, have you ever been treated differently because of your gender? I really, really hate this, did respond to that question, and here's what he had to say. My gender, male, has been both an advantage and a disadvantage because of ridiculous expectations and stereotypes. I've never been physically fit, and I'm average at pretty much all sports, having tried most of them at one point or another. I like girls, both as friends and as lovers, and I respect people. That seems to be considered a weird way to act. The number of times I've had conversations with girls and people assumed that I just flirted with them, like there can't possibly be any other reason for a guy to talk to a girl. I totally understand these frustrations. I think that there are upsides and downsides to every gender. So for women, I think that the legal system or the justice system is much more lenient toward women than it is when you have a man do the exact same crime. But we also have to deal with a lot of different negative emotions and biases against us when it comes to the workplace. A lot of times if you're an attractive woman, people will automatically assume that you're a moron, which is absolutely frustrating. And for men, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, you're taken more seriously as a man, but then at the same time, if you express your sexuality in any way, you're immediately assumed to be some sort of perv. So yes, there are upsides and downsides to both genders, and I think the most important thing you can do is fight back against those gender expectations and those gender roles. All right, we covered a freak lightning accident that happened in California. One individual died and 14 others were really injured as a result of this. It's kind of crazy to think that lightning does actually kill people. It's so rare, but it happens time to time. The question that we asked was, have you ever had bad luck? And Ape Jake, I like that name, said the following: knocked off my bike at about 60 miles per hour, hit in the forehead by a giant June bug, like about the size of a .45 bullet. Ruined my hog, tore up my leather coat and jeans a bit, no other severe damage, a little road rash on my back and right arm, coped by getting my bike home, and then spent every night of the week in a titty bar. Well, that sounds fun, especially that last part. Do you, boo? All right, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, guys. We definitely do love reading your comments and your thoughts on the show. We even do love reading your constructive criticism, so obviously feel free to share that in the comments section. We are absolutely proud to have you guys as our fans. Some of the comments that you have show me how progressive you are, how open-minded you are, and that's exactly the type of people we want watching The Point. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, we'll see you next week with another episode.